In partnership with cleveland.com, this is Capital Letter. Governor Mike DeWine has made more critical decisions over the past 6 weeks than many governors make in a full term. But in the coming weeks, he'll have to make many more decisions that affect people's lives and livelihoods. Cleveland.com State House reporter Laura Hancock joining us now to talk about it. Laura, thanks for joining me. The governor's stay-at-home order is set to expire Friday, and he's indicated it will be renewed. That seems like one of the easier decisions he's had to make over the next few weeks and months. Let's look at a few of the other ones. The topic that's been on everyone's mind is testing. How will the governor ensure that the state has enough COVID-19 tests to safely be able to reopen?
He probably can't make any guarantees, but he has been trying really hard to increase testing and says that by May 27th, the end of the month, there will be 22,000 at least tests available a day that people can have. And then they're also trying to make different kinds of tests available, the serologic antibody tests. They've got a project to test 1,000 people to figure out how prevalent COVID-19 is across the state.
And there are some pretty important sectors of the economy that remain closed with no opening date in sight, namely restaurants and salons, gyms as well. Why is the governor waiting to give them the green light?
I think because of the close contact by nature of those businesses, people tend to, well, in the case of like getting your hair done, people are touching you, you're very close. Be very easy to spread COVID. With gyms, you know, when you're working out, you would shed the virus if you have it. So he does have some groups together, a restaurant group and then a barber and salon group that are discussing how they could reopen under safe circumstances. And it'll likely mean gloves. It'll likely mean lots of social distancing in restaurants.
So a lot more to come with that. DeWine asked his top aides to come up with suggested budget cuts. Where are we in that process, and what's on the table there?
He asked the departments all to submit plans to decrease their budgets by 20%. And they all did turn in plans. And now he's working with the legislature to smooth up the details. And he says that he hopes to have the plan really soon. Just to keep in mind, there's a couple departments, such as the Department of Medicaid, that make up the majority of the state budget. And then there's other departments that might only have like an administrator and a receptionist. And so it is going to be hard. There's not going to be 20% across the board. Some departments, such as the health department that's fighting COVID, might be spared, but other departments might get cut pretty significantly.
Okay. Something that's on the mind of a lot of parents and kids, summer camps. So what has the governor said about whether summer camps will be able to open this year?
He hasn't made any promises. He's concerned because children naturally are social and they forget, and then they would run around together and potentially pass the virus. Children don't get particularly sick and they don't die at rates that are as high as like elderly adults. But they are prolific vectors, is what it's called. You know, they transmit the disease.
And similar to that, schools also a big concern for so many people. What are the factors DeWine is considering on whether in-person instruction will return in August?
He has a K-12 strike force of educators, and he's talking to the teachers' unions, the state superintendent, and other officials about how children can return safely. There's a lot of options on the board. They're on the table, including potentially having children do half days at school and half days at home. You know, just kind of staggering when kids come in, that kind of thing.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. As always, we really appreciate your time and insight. And you can see tomorrow's headlines today. All you have to do is subscribe to Capital Letter at cleveland.com/Capital Letter.